Hello again, everybody, and welcome to Season 2 of El Tunamir YouTube TV. This is our football preview show. We have to come up with a name for it. Mike Boytim again this season with me, Scott Franco. Going to talk about the big games each week in the mirror coverage area. As you can see, we still have some of our decorations from last year, our cups that people were donating and football helmets that were donating. And because of the times that we are living in now, you can see we have our masks and our football helmets, which is, if you got your magazine earlier this week inside the mirror, our COVID edition. But Mike and I decided we were going to ask for people this year if they would like to donate masks with their team logo on it, and then we will display them throughout the season. We'll come up with something that'll be looking real cool, and we'll keep it behind us here. So if you want, our address is 301 Cayuga Avenue, Altoona, PA 16602, I believe. And just address it to sports department in care of me or Mike. Right off the bat, if you're out and about at the sheets and you want to get a copy of Mike's got the Blitz over here that we put out here earlier this summer. That has all the teams in our coverage area previewed and everything. And also, this came out a couple days ago in the Mirror, your edition. This was the high school football preview, even more football stuff. The letter winners and breakdowns of each team and who's on the rosters and schedules. We got 4 games we want to look at this week, starting right off the bat. Basically, this would have been what, Mike, week 3 if we had started back in August?
Been, but hey, we're deburring the lead here. We have football.
We're
playing football games.
Knock on wood. Knock on wood.
I mean, it's great that we're going to talk about these 4 games, but we're just happy that there are any games, and everyone's just taking it with a lot more, everyone's excited just to play this year, I think. And when I've been talking to coaches, it's just like, hey, teams like BG, they could win a state championship this year if there are state championships. But right now, people are just happy to be playing. I know that you have some kids that play for Hollidaysburg, and I'm sure. I mean, a couple of months ago, they might not have thought they were playing at all, right?
Mike and I thought we were going to be doing stories on Yahtzee tournaments somewhere in Blair County, but we're nothing against Yahtzee, but we're much happier that we're going to be covering high school football and soccer and what have you. Our first game we're going to look at, we had a story in the paper yesterday. It's Bellwood Annis at Northern Bedford. These 2 teams have been pretty good the last couple of years. Mike knows a lot more about them than I do. What do you expect from this game tonight?
Well, first of all, that game could decide the inter-county conference because, Bellwood went undefeated last year in the conference, but hey, it came down to, remember we talked about that game on our show last year. We had the photo of Dalton Smith that was down before, and he was down.
Big controversy over a fumble?
Yeah,
yes.
Late in the game and everything. So there's... these teams are real even. They both have a ton of returning players. Bellwood has Zach Mallon and Nick Plank. Both were near 1,000 yards rushing last year. Mallon was over and Plank was just under. Then you got Northern Bedford. They got their quarterback back who threw 22 touchdown passes last year. Then you got Dalton Smith who's back, and they got plenty of weapons. They also have Northern Bedford has 2 great kickers, so if it comes down to a field goal or something like that, Northern Bedford might have the edge there.
And I know 2 years ago I covered a Central at Northern Bedford game, and Northern Bedford had a ton of 10th graders playing, and now those kids are most of them are all 3-year starters, which can never hurt a program. Our next game is a Saturday game. That'll be tomorrow night. That's Richland at Bishop Guilfoyle, and that will be at Mansion Park.
Yeah.
And I know every year Richland's supposed to be good, and I was reading in Mike's high school football skinny that we had in a couple days ago about Richland's really owned this game the last 2 years, 78-0.
Yeah.
I believe. I mean, I got to think BG's a much better team this year.
Well, we would think, but BG has struggled with Richland over the past few years. Interestingly, in our Blitz magazine,
Mike loves the Blitz.
If you see the Laurel Highlands preseason rankings that were picked by the coaches, Richland's number 1, BG's number 3. So this is 2 of the top teams that they thought would finish up there. And, obviously BG has a ton of talent. Andrew Yanashak's back. He had 20 sacks last year. Keegan Myrick was the 1A player. He was the best player in the area. He ran for over 1,700 yards. BG is right there, and they could definitely win the state title this year. But Richland is a bigger school. They have a lot of kids back, including their quarterback, Kellen Stahl. And they did lose Caleb Burke, who was a Division I receiver. But, it's always a tough challenge playing Richland. And until somebody knocks them off, they're the defending champion, and they're the team to beat in the Laurel Highlands.
I think if BG can find somebody to play quarterback, that'll ease up the pressure on Meyer, because if BG can't throw the ball, they're just going to put everybody up, and they're going to say, we dare you to throw it. And again, Richland, Brandon Bailey, I think he's become his dad now, because when his dad, Don, was coaching Forest Hills, they were just dominant every year. And now it looks like Richland has become that dominant team over in that part of Johnstown now every year. Our third game is a Friday night game, Central at Bald Eagle area. I know Central has a lot of people back. Bald Eagle area graduated a couple of their key players from their team, so I'm not sure about them. What do you expect from that game?
Well, first of all, they won't be playing each other in the playoffs again. They played in the semifinals of District 6 last year, and Central had a chance to win that game on the last drive. They ended up not coming through, and Bald Eagle area went the whole way to the state semifinals. Now, Bald Eagles dropped down in classification this year, so they won't play each other in the postseason. But this is a rematch of that game. And, Central it's an interesting team, because they had a lot of young kids last year that got a lot of playing time. And maybe if a year older, and with BEA losing a couple guys, this could be a really nice win for them to start the season.
Yeah, Central has a Parker Gregg in the backfield. Jeff Hohenstein now is probably not going to be sharing quarterback duties anymore. It's going to be his thing. And I know Bald Eagle area has a new quarterback, I believe.
Yeah.
So that's going to be something that Central might be able to take care of. Our last game we're looking at is the big, I guess you would call it the big Bedford County rivalry game. And we're starting the season with that. Chestnut Ridge at Bedford. They're always good. They always have good players. I guess Pfister's back, right, for Chestnut Ridge, and Bedford has a real good running back.
Bedford has Elijah Cook. They have Mercury Swain.
Mercury Swain, the best name in high school sports.
And why do you like Mercury
Because
Swain?
he's named after Mercury Morris, the Miami Dolphins. His dad did a good job by naming him that. I wanted to name one of my boys Marino Franco, and my wife wouldn't let me, but that's another topic.
They also have Steven Ressler, who's an all-state basketball player as well as a really good football player. And Chestnut Ridge has other weapons too. Matt Wysong is a great receiver. Him and Pfister have a great combination that can go for a big play at any time. Last year's game was really exciting. I got the chance to cover it. The place was packed. Unfortunately, it won't be on Friday. But Bedford went for a 2-point conversion to go for the win. And Jonah Hillegas just tipped the ball away at the last second, Bedford might have been the team that won last year. So these teams are super even. In that Laurel Highlands prediction thing earlier I showed you in the Blitz, they have Bedford at number 2. So a lot of people think Bedford's capable of big things this year, and this is going to be the litmus test.
And I know Ridge has to replace some big kids on the line. The Nisley kid graduated. He's out doing track at Penn State, I think, and some other guys. So that'll be interesting to see how that game goes. That'll be it for week number 1. Next week, we're hoping to have, knock on wood again, another show. And maybe we'll have a sponsor, but we don't know. We don't want to say too much, but maybe leave that as a tease.
A mask.
Yeah, and we'll have a mask maybe with that logo on, or maybe with one of these teams will mail us or drop one off. Or if you see Mike at a game, or if you see me at a game, you can hand us a logo, and we'll gladly accept it for our show. But for Mike Boytim, I'm Scott Franco. Thank you for tuning in to Mirror TV on YouTube. Thanks.